Hey guys, I'm going to start doing some reviews of some hi-fi gear. Some of it may be equipment that I've just gotten in for repair, or maybe stuff that I own, stuff that I just come across, whatever, some stuff that I've had experience with. A lot of it's going to be like rare or esoteric type stuff. It's pretty much just my observations as a casual listener. We're going to start with the Acoustic Technologies Classic. This is a single driver floor standing tower that was originally about $2,400, brand new. I guess something happened to the original engineer of these speakers, and I think he passed away, and somebody went and bought like the inventory from the family, bought all the speakers and bought all of the drivers from Dayton Audio. I think you could have got them because there is a part number on Dayton Audio with these drivers, but they're an interesting speaker nonetheless. I mean, if you're watching this video, you probably have some kind of idea on what this thing is or what these speakers are, but if you don't, well, then I'll give you a little rundown on what they are. I got mine for about $700, which to me is still a little high for what it is, to be honest with you. You can get them on Audiophile. The guy's selling them on Audiophile. I'm not sure if I said that already or not, but yeah, you can get it on Audiophile. Basically, what I found is the pros, the positives of these things are that it is, it's a single driver titanium driver. It sounds really detailed. Good for like jazz, soft rock, classical music, horns, piano sounds really good. Soft drumming sounds pretty good. Female vocals sound fantastic. The thing with the cabinets is that they have some kind of baffling in there. I'm not really sure. I haven't opened it up. I don't know what it looks like on the inside of these cabinets, but they're supposed to bring out some of the low ends, although that otherwise would not be existing with that such a small driver. I think it's like a 3-inch driver or I think it's a 3-inch driver. So yeah, I mean, they have a very unique sound for sure. There's a big opening on the bottom of the tower, and you can hear like a lot of low mids coming through that. Not really any bass, it's just, I guess I'll start with the cons. First of all, they don't like being up against a wall. Okay, so you don't want to run these things right up against a wall. It just crowds the sound. I like it. I think they sound best when they're like 2 feet away from the wall and like 5 or 6 feet away from each other. It doesn't really matter how you angle them. They have pretty good sound dispersion. They don't really have, I don't know, that's kind of like one of the selling points of these speakers was that there's no actual like sweet spot, which I kind of get that, I kind of understand. I kind of, you can kind of walk around and it sounds pretty similar. Like you can't really figure out like, okay, well, you have to sit right here to get the sweet spot. No, it doesn't. I don't really have that with these speakers. But like I said, they don't like being up against a wall. They have like no bass response. It's almost non-existent, which is unfortunate. It's kind of the way it is because there's no crossover in there. They're a tiny driver. The cabinet behavior, reminds me of like an upright piano. It's like when you knock on it, you can hear the resonance, and when you hear certain things in certain music and certain mixes, it sounds like an upright piano, like you're knocking on the backside of an upright piano. That being said, like I said, when you're listening to piano music, they sound fantastic. Like it actually sounds like, like a piano. The box, it does accentuate this frequency, whatever frequency he was tuning the box for. It's super present, and when there's like a snare in like a rock song, like a heavier rock song, it's like really in your face. It doesn't sound very good. You can't really listen to speakers with it like heavy music, trance, bass heavy type stuff. It crowds the speaker, and it's like, it just doesn't sound good, especially when you crank it up. It just starts distorting real early. That's another con. the drivers are real low power. So if you put any power to them and crank them up, they're going to start distorting, especially if it's bass heavy. But that being said, I would say that I don't know that the pros necessarily outweigh the cons. I would say that these are unique, and that if you can get them for a reasonable price, if you can find them for a reasonable price, I would say pick them up just for their uniqueness, and try them out, maybe like in a near field listening situation, kind of like how I do it normally. I have them like kind of close to me. They prefer, like, I've tried it with different types of gear, solid state vintage stuff, and I've got a Dynakit ST70 that I listen to quite often, restored unit, stock. But I think it definitely likes the low power tube stuff better. Not that the Dynakit's that low power, because 35 watts tube is pretty loud, but I think it still just sounds better with the tube stuff. I think it's because of the fact that the tube stuff, in my opinion, it doesn't really have that fast bass. Can't really do that anyway. And the vocal type situation that you get from the tubes is kind of like accentuated with what the titanium driver is trying to do, and the voicing of the box. I think it works really well, but very, very specific on what kind of music you're listening to. I mean, it just cannot do like metal. Don't listen to metal, punk rock or anything like that. It doesn't sound right. If you listen to jazz music, it sounds great, or piano, classical, stuff like that, soft drumming. I would be worried about ruining the speaker, so just be careful with it. But yeah, I mean, if you can find them for cheap, pick them up. I think $700 is too much money for it. I mean, the guy that's selling them, he needs to be selling them for like $450. $500 at the most. I just don't think. I think $700 is a little too high for those, for what they are. They're just not. I mean, they're just not. They're not $700 speakers. They weren't $2,400 speakers. The guy that originally made them, he's selling them for $2,400 brand new. I don't agree. I think that's crazy. Like, some of this hi-fi stuff is like, doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah, it's supposed to have like let me bring this up here, what some of the specs are. Let me see. Acoustic Technologies. Okay, so there's a lot of mumbo jumbo on this owner's manual here, talking about physics and perception. That is, a loudspeaker must accurately and transduce physical attributes of recorded sounds, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. I want to try to see if it... I'm pretty sure it has like silver speaker wire. It doesn't have like traditional copper wire, like connecting the speakers to the terminals, which the terminals are supposed to be pretty high end. Let me see. Hold on one second. Let's see if it talks about the... Okay. Yeah, the guy's name was David Meshiba, the speaker's designer. Let's see. Yeah, this is there's a review here I'm looking at. Cardus gold-plated copper binding posts is what it has. Internal wiring is high purity, 99.99% solid silver. That may be why they were so expensive. I don't know. Maybe silver is just more expensive than copper. I don't but yeah, so you're basically just buying like silver copper wire that's from the Cardus terminal all the way to the speaker and the speaker box. And the driver isn't like anything. I don't think it's anything particularly special. I found the part number for that, and it was on Dayton Audio at one point. You could buy that on Dayton Audio. It's a Chinese brand. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it is a Chinese brand that makes those. Tang Band is what it is, a Tang Band speaker. And I mean, I can't find that specific driver anywhere available. The only place you can get the replacement drivers are from the guy on AudioGone that's selling them, that I know of. but there are others like 3-inch drivers that you can try out and swap them. Like they have like a paper cone one and like some other weird ones that I want to try out. I want to see if it kind of helps some of the low end that's kind of awful. But anyway, yeah, so that's basically my little rundown of these speakers. They're very interesting. You know, I'll put a video. You know, you can't really hear much with videos. You know, obviously, if even, you know, especially because of a phone recording, you're not going to really hear really anything like what it actually sounds like in person. But you know, I'll have a little video here, and yeah. So that was my rundown of the Acoustic Technologies Classic Tower speakers, and let me know what you think.